Good afternoon, all. It's me, Coach Russ. Hope you are doing well and having a lovely day. It is very humid, I think you'll find. And I'm indoors, but look, I'm just, it's warm out. I've had the fan on, but I'm talking to you, I've had to turn the fan off. So what I want to talk to you about today is about the box. I mentioned earlier this morning when I posted on saying I'll be talking now about breathing, and it's one of those exercises that most people can manage quite well by themselves, thankfully. Unless we're unhealthy, we all breathe all day long and even all night long. It's a 24/7 type of job, and there are definite benefits of learning how to breathe through exercise, for sure, especially if you're doing things like running, long distance running as well. Learn to control your breath and let your breath work with you rather than against you is always a benefit, and also by standing up taller, keeping the diaphragm as tall as possible and keeping the shoulders back whilst you're running will all help you. So loads of little tips there which I'm not really here to talk about today. What I am here to talk about today is more about box breathing. And the reason this came about is that I was speaking with a client yesterday who, I'm not going to mention names as I ever do, but she's a teacher, and in fact she's a head teacher, and back to school, and obviously kids are back to school yesterday, as a lot of staff are, in particular is, and she's pretty damn stressed and struggling with the anxiety and the stress of this all of a sudden going from pretty much nothing, having an empty school where she was working at and managing things, to a school full of kids and teachers and adults all wanting her demands, and she was getting very stressed. And the thing is, she's going through this process of trying to improve herself, and she's eating well, and I won't say what well means for her because that's different for every person. She's exercising really hard, so everything's really cool, but her failure in the past to maintain a healthier lifestyle has been stress, because as soon as stress hits her, she dives in for the chocolate. She dives in for things that perhaps don't fit in with her goals. And when I heard the word stress and anxiety in a message to her yesterday, because I was checking to see how she was, I was worried for her that she may dip into old habits, and all we're trying to do when I'm working with her is trying to create new habits and a new future and a new way of looking at things. So once I understood this, that it was anxiety and stress potentially going to put a kibosh on her day's results, and one day can turn into 2 days, into 3 days, into a week, into 2 weeks, and she's done so well in her first 6 weeks with me that I wanted to make sure she continued. I spoke to her about box breathing. Now, I came about box breathing about 4 or 5 months ago, doing some research into stress and looking into anxiety and all those sort of related subjects and mental health subjects. And box breathing was something that was recommended to me probably about a year ago by a fellow PT, and I had it at the back of my brain there. I parked it away, didn't really know much about it. I knew it may be beneficial, but I didn't know what to do with it. So did some research, read up on it, and understood that it's something that's been used from everything from athletes to the Navy SEALs in the US. It's used by myriads of different types of people to help cope with stress. So without further ado, let me talk you through box breathing, and you'll love the simplicity of it and what it can do for you. So first thing you've got to do with box breathing is a breathing technique which will last about 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes. The more you do it, the more you want to do it. You never want to do it more than 3-4 minutes. But box breathing is this. You want to find yourself in a relatively quiet room, ideally. The darker the better. Always not possible during the day, but if you can, brilliant. No noise around, no TV on, no radio, all that sort of thing. You're going to close your eyes. You're going to sit nice and upright. You're going to keep a tall posture, shoulders back. You're going to allow the diaphragm to fill and empty the lungs. Feet, the soles of your feet on the floor. Your hands just resting on your lap, palms facing up is ideal. And that's it. And then you're going to hold your breath for 4 seconds. That's it. Count to 4. Then you're going to exhale and going to empty the lungs of everything to the count of 4. So we've got hold for 4, exhale for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. You know how to count. And as you do it, you're imagining your air leaving your body. You're focusing on it so much that your mind starts to become clearer. From there on in, you are going to pause for 4. So we've held for 4, we've exhaled for 4, we now pause for 4, and then we inhale. And again, we're concentrating on filling the lungs as much as possible. So a deep breath, filling the lungs until so much so that the air overfills the lungs and starts escaping from the lungs as it would do naturally, and then hold for 4 again. And that's one set. That's one circuit in exercise terms. And then you're going to repeat that for 2 or 3 times, up to perhaps 5 or 6 times probably as a maximum. But it isn't going to take you long, but you need to focus as you do it. So hold for 4, exhale for 4, hold for 4, inhale for 4, hold for 4, and you get the idea. But concentrate on your breath. Focus on it completely, because what it does, it switches your brain off. That's the idea. All those thoughts you're having throughout the day that may cause anxiety and stress are gone, or are going. And the longer you do it, the more you do it, the more frequently you do it, the more you get used to it, and the more you'll see the benefits of it. And it's something I use quite often now, not always daily if I'm honest, but I do make use of it, even if not in an anxious or stressful situation. I just find it's a great leveler. It's a great chance just to reset, turn the noise off of the day, and then carry on again. So guys, I hope you find that useful. Box breathing, Google it, you'll find 1,000 different topics on it, but they'll all come back to the same thing. It's hold for 4, exhale, hold for 4, inhale, and just repeat that. Hope you find that's useful, and if you've got any questions, let me know. I will speak to you all very soon. But for now, Russ Boy, out.